now to Vivek sir. So I think what I'll do is we'll give you back-to-back two questions, sir. One is we're speaking about retrofits, right? I know that's the general upgradation and retrofits, and then we heard perspectives of other panelists. I want you to kind of put this in a couple of ways. One is it retrofitting that really matters? Or you coming from the general contracting sort of fraternity, from scratch to finish, I think you end up establishing systems. So would you like to focus more on the construction phase? So if you can enlighten us, take us through that journey, it'll be really good to hear, both in terms of new buildings, new construction, as well as retrofits.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Most of the points are covered with our panelists. Actually, we are talking about a component replacements, how a component, how one building management system integration, all that. But if you see a building, if you walk through, many of the buildings today, some of the people are replacing the facade also. Why? The low E glasses have come now, better glass, the better, we are able to study today, sunpath study, we are able to take the natural light, how much lux level. So look at it in a holistically, just we spend an MEP, the component replacement versus also that what is the amount which consumes to a building, whether replacement of facade, what it makes, and then which kind of an equipment I can move. So many times I have a technology, but it is not implementable in an old building. You take in UK, we are talking about 100 and 150 years old building. Today in entire UK, in the London central cities, 250-year-old buildings are there. Still, they are energy efficient. They are replacing the plumbing MEP systems, and they are finding new methods of constructions, new innovative methods of installations, and the products are developed in ease of installation. So this is something that I would like to see the building load profile. Take the load map profile, see which is the cost matrix analysis, as rightly said by the other panelists, that what is the ROI, whether analysis you do. Just simple glass change can make lot of difference. And also some materials, whatever is available, the lights, just replace the lights with LED lights. There are the BMS team, friends are there, that they are able to tell that how much more energy they can take. And also inform to the customers. I have seen today when I sit on discussions, they are educating the customers, even residential customer, why don't you just use renewable energy, some panels, why don't you put on your house? So just have energy yourself instead of using the grid energy. So we have many methods to make sustainable even a old building retrofitting by using a right material. This is what I...
And about the construction phase, I think that's the next question as we go.
Yeah, construction phase, okay. We talk about construction. The construction phase is a subject I feel there. It is like it is a breathe. If you say sustainable practice, this much discussion, it is like we are talking about something which we are supposed to breathe. The sustainability, Mr. Manjunath's presentation shows that where we are going to head. If you are able to address in construction phase, as per my data, my research and analysis, I will like to say that 30% of the energy by using the construction phase right material. I saw that 30% of energy can be saved by using an IoT. See, the IoT is beyond what is control, what you are seeing. It is giving a comfort. It is giving a predictive analysis, all that. It is giving a large comfort. But address at the day one, that in a construction phase, that what material you use, how the energy performance of those materials, and how do you construct it. Many of us, we see there is a building construction going on. Minimum thing that we don't store the material in a shaded atmosphere. Look at the rainwater comes, that it's fallen on the iron, steel materials, whatever is lying down. And the same water is going down. You don't have STP, you don't have RO water to just process it. Just that water is getting accumulated into the earth soil. Even construction dust is contributing our water pollution by 6%. What it is. It is the water pollution, how much we are contributing. Similarly, that it is a dust, what is their construction dust is contributing. We are talking about a farmer's Delhi, that the farmer fire is contributing, so much noise happens. And we all are engineers. We all know. I will give you statistics including roads, construction buildings, everything together is contributing 59% of the dust. It is nothing to do with the farmer. We are the culprits. The building industry, roads industry, whatever we are doing, other industries are contributing that much pollution. You can go into the data, or later I can share. construction industry is the biggest contributor in the urbanization dust. I am not talking about rural. Panels said that how much is the urbanization. Dr. Bhaskar sir and other team panelists have told what is going to be happen. But I tell you, in urbanization is the one biggest culprit. How many lung diseases, so many hospitals are coming. How many, with the dust, what we create, the construction dust. So that is goes on unlimited. And I would like to, maybe later part of it we can take up. But it is something that someone, when I'm doing any activity, that someone I should say, my act today is going to be, it is going to be what is harm to the environment he has to see. So nothing more that we build a factory which is 100% carbon neutral platinum rated factory, which we don't want from our end to be carbon, any kind of emission, net zero, not only in terms of the energy, we are trying to achieve net zero in terms of even pollution. Entire MEP system we are designing in just fit by nut and bolt system or just maximum quick fix an environment like a furniture. So it is an effort what you need to think from, what you act from the day start. How do you reduce the waste from your food waste to any waste? I'm saying dry waste, west waste or not. Our culture has to be, once you digest in your mind, then everything will follow.
No, absolutely. I can't agree more than that. So I see this conversation going in a very progressive way. If you see, first on upgradations and retrofits, we saw the challenges. Sir, I think beautifully brought out the challenges. Then we looked at possibilities. Yes, it is possible at a equipment level. Then we moved on to understand that why replace equipment, why replace chillers, replace the systems. We didn't stop there. Then we went on to say that, there is possibilities in the building, which is actually if you have to remove a facade and allow that solar heat gain coefficient, I think you can do retrofits there and reduce the cooling load. So it's a very progressive conversation that we have had in the first round. Also, as part of the second round, we learned that, why wait for retrofits, do it at the construction phase itself. Use sustainable material, have some good practices in which we are able to kind of make sure that we achieve our net zero goals faster. Now, moving to Shrikesh, I had this very specific question to you. So as an equipment manufacturer, what is that you're doing to kind of make sure that, we improvise on energy efficiency and help customers achieve their net zero goals? Also, fundamentally, I think that you will also believe that for scope 3 emissions, customers' emissions actually becomes your emissions. So what are you going to do about it? What are you already doing about it, rather?
See, in my opinion, equipment manufacturers, OEMs, have a great role to play in the building industry. First of all, we are kind of arms and legs of the industry. You take any HVAC, I am particular about, I am there in the HVAC industry for last 30 years. So HVAC, you take any equipment, if you compare equipment 10 years back and now, you know that, means all of us know the efficiency have improved a lot. It all happens through R&D. So OEMs have a role to play by bringing innovative methods, innovative technologies, by investing in R&D. Second is setting up such panel discussions or educative programs. OEM has a great role to play. Third is kind of adapting your new equipment. Like in your presentation, you presented like GWP. Now we know, like chillers, there is a great opportunity for all of us to move into, say, from R134A or R410A, which we are using for last 20-25 years, to move it to a newer refrigerant, and how to make it more efficient equipments. So all these are opportunities, and there are obviously economics plays in this, but I think equipment manufacturers have a great role to play, and end of the day, all this will contribute to healthy buildings, right? And
absolutely, rightly said. So I also like your point, I think maybe I didn't cover in my presentation. When we look at a refrigerant gas, right, it's got R134A 1290 GWP. Now, when we talk about introducing gases that have maybe 0 or 5 or 10 or 600 as GWP, I think that's the latest, right? So that's an important move from an equipment manufacturer's perspective. I think those innovations definitely help align with the customer goals on ESG and becoming net zero. Moving to Rahul Verma, so you also have a similar pedigree, right, in terms of like BMS and IoT. So what's your perspective about this? What do you think as a company, as an equipment supplier or a solution supplier, you're doing to make sure that we catch up, we help our customers do better?
Yeah, definitely, sir. So, I would like to say something about the IoT. So, we are into Siemens real estate. So, we definitely take the help of our building solutions team, who has who has got the IoT based kind of solution. So, in one of my recent projects only, so we took their help to let us know what is the exact. First of all, what we did, we created an energy simulation model for one of our building, which had got the worst orientation towards the solar heat gain and those kind of thing. So based upon that orientation, we made a simulation based upon some kind of sensors and all that gave us a complete data based upon the occupancy, the type of facade that we have used, the type of chillers that we are going to select for this project. So based upon that kind of analysis, we came to know that, okay, at this point in time, 28% of the overall energy saving is possible. That will definitely contributes to 3 or 4 points for my LEED certification. So of course, as you mentioned, like I'm not exactly from the background of manufacturing of those kind of things, but yeah, of course, for the implementation of those kind of building IoT related solutions, of course, we do use in our real estate projects. So that kind of analysis literally helped us to know, 1 year or 2 year down the line, once the project will be completed, then based upon the occupancy, which area light has to be turned on, what kind of AC is required there, what is the cooling pattern, those kind of things. That simulation we already did. We have our in-house and built softwares that Siemens has. So we did all those analysis based, and apart from that, we took the help of sustainability consultants as well. So we had a very detailed report on that, and we came to know that, okay, this is going to be the final rating of the building in terms of sustainability and those kind of things. So of course, IoT related solutions and these kind of smart building infrastructure solutions definitely helps a lot to achieve carbon neutral targets, as well as the sustainability point of view can be easily obtained with that kind of solution.
So that's really, heartening to hear. I was very glad to hear that there are solutions available and there are people who are implementing it and reaping benefits out of it. So we'll come back to you. I've got more questions on it. But moving on to Mr. Manjunath Swami. So I just have to kind of make another disclosure also. There are two Manjunath sitting here. Manjunath is a very popular name, right? So there's Mr. Manjunath Swami, and I am named Manjunath MD by birth, right? So we'll talk to Mr. Manjunath Swami. Sir, what do you think? How important is it when you're designing a system as a consulting engineer, when you're employed with a client? Do you really emphasize on BMS and IoT? I mean, do you think that it's a good value proposition that you offer to your customers?
Yeah. See, in the complete energy innovation management system, we see 4 aspects. One is complete equipment selection. Whatever chiller you're selecting, whatever pump you're selecting, whatever the fan you're selecting, we should be very, very energy efficient. That all that new technologies has come, new methods are come. So you have products. That is a very innovative products or energy efficient products has come. That is the one part. Second part is integrating all this system to make it energy efficient. That is a very, very important aspect. Third thing is how you design the system to make it energy efficient. You have a very good chiller, you have a very good pump, you have very good fan, all IE5 fans, EC plus, everything you have. But how you design the system. For example, I'll give you some practical examples. We have the EC plus fan in one of the project. That external static they selected 65 mm. So even it will not at all even modulate and reduce the speed, because that static whatever you selected is very, very high. So second thing is pumps. We are selecting a pump. Just to selecting a pump and connecting with a VFD. It will not work. You have to select, because what happens is when the flow rate is come down, automatically head also will come down. So when the header comes down, the last edge will not get the water flow. Then what is the use of, you have so much of PLC, VFD, everything. The maintenance engineer go and set that another pump, you switch it on manually and he'll come back. So the whole purpose of your energy efficiency is gone for a task. So how you selecting the system, what head you are selecting it, whether you are selecting it a linear curve or a non-linear curve, all these selections are very, very important. Even when you selecting the fan, how you selecting the fan, what static you are calculating it, how it will operate it at the nearest close band, and you are selecting a PIBC wall. When you are selecting a PIBC wall, people select with the flow rate and what are the pipe size. Nobody is going to deep selection of KVS value, valve authority. If you don't select a proper valve authority, what happens is it will not at all modulate properly. That whatever the intent of that spending money on that energy efficiency, energy wall or PIBC wall, you will not get it because you are selecting a wrong wall. So first thing is very, very important, critical is the design, how you are selecting each and every item. So then after that, energy efficient equipment, then integrating all that things. Then fourth important, very, very crucial aspect is how you are installing it. If you are wrongly installing it, all your design intent, energy efficient equipment, everything is gone per task. You will not get anything. Finally, it will become like a BMS system will become like a on-off system from remote. That's it. So many places you are seeing, they're using as a remote on-off chiller, pumps, everything. They're not getting it any benefit out of it. So this is another important aspect. One more thing very, very critical to get an energy efficiency system is the operators who is operating it, he should be knowledgeable. So many tools are available in BMS, in IOTA, but he should know that how to utilize it, how to make a trend, how to analysis all the data, how to make it energy efficient. Just everything is there in the system and take a printout and keep it for a record, then there is no use. He should be knowledgeable and he should take all the benefits out of it. The people spending so much of money on the BMS, IOTA, everything, but the technicians, they hire very, very non-compatible technicians who operate the BMS. Most of the companies we are seeing it. So the person who is operating it, who is making the maintenance, don't have at least basic knowledge. He is only using it as an on-off system. This is a very, very important thing. Then after all these aspects, how to get again energy. For example, now people are saying that if you give a wall, the energy wall, they're telling that, okay, we get 100 points. What do you do with 100 points? What are the important points you require? That much only they have to extend. Second, another important thing is the networking. So this is the one drawback we are seeing in the complete BMS system. Yeah. So that networking, whatever the BMS system is operating it, that is not so secured enough to client believe and give the access. So because of that, what is happening is they're not giving any access to the network, and you are having a standalone system, you are not getting the most benefit out of it. So this is the very, very important aspects to get the complete energy efficiency by adopting so much of money, so much of spending money and adopting new technologies.
Absolutely. I think I totally agree with sir. So just also a couple of things. What I'm hearing is that, if you're cutting corners in design, just to please a client saying that I'm going to do, 1,000 square feet per ton and all that, let's be cautious. That's what I'm hearing. The second thing is this kitchen, the consulting engineer's kitchen that prepares a good recipe, if it is not served properly, if it is not, the ingredients are not mixed properly, so we're not going to have a good dish, coming out of that. So that's a very important point. Besides a lot of other things that you said. So we'll move to, again, from a GC perspective. I think, like to hear from you, Vivek, sir. I think it's what sustainable materials, practices, from scratch, when you start imagining a building, how do you kind of put sustainability into practice at that stage? Then move on to kind of doing a proper system integration of sustainable components and energy efficient products. And how do you deliver and then kind of make sure that the end user is also happy with it? So
here in this point, very critical is, since Mr. Manjunath said a lot about specification, I am seeing in our industry, from last 30 years I am seeing, there is a specification for a chiller, COP is there, BMS IO points are there. How many times we see across that what is the constructability of the whatever the materials. I'll just give an example. There is a huge plant, about 3,000 ton plant. When I came 30 years ago, the skilled workmanship was very good. If you say tap off 100 millimeters from a tap off, the people used to have a proper 100 millimeter cut was there, bevel edge was there, grinding was there, buffing was there, then they used to weld. Give the gap and proper 100% penetration we talk in welding. The pipe through and through penetration was there. In most of the sites, if you could see tap-offs, not even 75% of the size will be there tap-off. In one side, zero tap-off is there, project is urgent, engineers are not capable. I am coming to that skill, that only. Today, that skill set in the workman is not available at site. So more specification to be driven today from the consulting fraternities, more focusing on how work to be executed rather than the product specification. Reason, product specification is done off-site. Today there are systems, there are procedures, on its own it will by default will follow. What off-site is happening today has no system, no document. Who is standing on the day, whatever is there, it's already covered, what you are going to achieve it. Finally the pump is selected, but the opening from the tap off it is offering such a large resistance. They use the burning torches to cut how many of us we see the molten metal falling on the pipe? This dust is accumulating into your plated exchangers in the chiller as well as AHU. Then you say tube cleaning system, water cleaning system, how many things you are adding the resistance in the supply line, and take one shutdown again, then do again. Then you look at it, do flushing, then chemical flushing. What else? How many things for inefficiency in construction you keep adapting, but still it's a defect job. It's like I have a broken leg. All of us that what we are doing is that broken leg, how best to walk, what exercise to do, what yoga to do, so how we maintain the weight. So this is what we are doing, all of us. See, now it is a need that, educate now we can't educate too much at the on-site level. Today's the generation change, generation shift. At least move as much from on-site to off-site. Like we have experience from the chiller manufacturer, product manufacturers, yes, off-site projects, what has been told, it has been practiced. So move maximum activities to the off-site where mission does the job. So less skilled, semi-skilled person can do. That initiation, all this happens only once you go to the off-site. The mission does majority job, then you bring into a site. I can tell you the off-site to on-site, lots of advantages there. Whether water consumption, power consumption, accidents, your dust, noise pollution. Today, how many of us, when we go to an office, I have an experience in Intel, Brenton Road, we have handed over the facility. One of the employee came, it's the Prestige building, and the employee fell in a giddiness just because he is in high VOC from the partition, like in the pin-up boards, the VOC is evaporated, they are very sensitive, they fell off. It was then they took they came to conscious only after 4 hours. That was become a big issue. It was managed. I tell you, so many workmen today are losing their lives. There is no quality of life. They are living in a dust. They are living in all atmospheres. So this is something that we have to educate the fraternity from on-site to off-site as much, so that your desire. We want an IoT. I want IoT parameters. IoT parameters, where it's a probe, whether it's a drilling, whether your sensor is going inside or not. I have experience in, I don't want to name a project, that many projects, VAV box is there, down one cable tray will be going. You can't even access that VAV box for lifetime. So because customer will tell, we will show some on off, somewhere from a power IO point, like, is on off only it is shown. So from other signal so how many things in a constructability, that's why I said constructability, implementability, and the training. How many of us, the chiller manufacturers running, why I am coming to that point is that you should run the technical program, educate maximum people not to abuse your own product. How many building management system guys are conducting training classes as a part of CSR? Today, whatever we talk about, Ola did this business, the car was failed. He only said, today the news was that he is doubling the service centers, 1 lakh service centers. He has trained a large number of manpower. How much percentage is trained, I am not bothered about it. At least he has done that initiative. Whether he has done 1 lakh or 1,000 marketing strategy, I do not know. But at the same time, his product, he wanted to be serviced. And he says, at a time, I have taken this initiative. I feel this, even original equipment manufacturers or system integrators should run, see, their product is well aware, and that's how that the product gets accepted. They have to take I can say, inspiration from the Tally. Tally pirated version is available to everyone. Actually, the minute it comes, when accountant comes to me, sir, do you know how to do accounting? Sir, I can work in Tally, he will tell. Finally, a company will have to buy the licensed version of the Tally. He is entering unknowing to us. Yeah, AutoCAD, there is, company only releases pirated version. I had discussions with so many all India heads. They say they want people to be educated. At the early ages, they will pick up. Then the skill set available is only that for the employer. So we get that, use the employability of our employees, and then we start using. So it is nothing nothing to say. Even I saw Siemens has taken some initiatives with some state government skill development, giving software training for a SolidWorks software and all. I saw in some of the government institutions. I was very happy. It is not that Siemens license is developed. He is charging whether 95% discount, 98% discount he has given. So today when my machine is sold by anybody, he says, sir, I can work on a Siemens SolidWorks. So he is immediately working. There is a mission skill set fellow available, and he is not going to abuse the mission. Otherwise, Siemens is a bad mission. I'm just giving an example of what I face in construction phase because he is talking about. So now we have to drive about how we construct the building. From on-site to off-site, how much I move. Today, I give statistic, the Singapore, if you are designing a building, all the consultants and architects should know how to design at least 65% of off-site constructability. Otherwise, you will not get government permission. Once you put the submission drawing, they do geotagging. You can't move the material. Reason, unless you issue a geotag that this is a part, you can't move, transport. Because the transporter will bring material, the dust is falling, noise will be there. There is a huge amount of senior citizens are there in Singapore. Life expectancy is high. 80, 85 years people are there at houses. They can't afford a noise. They can't afford a dust, lungs issues. So they made a very big mandatory. When 2012 I visited, that they said it is GST exemption, government given a promotion. Small country, tall buildings. Hong Kong also coming up in a similar fashion. Later today, 2022, when I attended a seminar, they said it is a mandated. They approved the vendors who makes it also. Because just simply I'll go to the workshop. Anyway, any workshop fellow cannot become prefabrication because he's harming the environment. They'll come to the facility. Are using a laser mission, are using a plasma mission, are using a right welding techniques, are using a CO2 welding, or you're using what type of a gas welding. Because carbon emissions contributes 30% in the construction building of using a wrong materials. So I talk about earth, I talk about water, I talk about pollution, I talk about anything that, bare minimum the construction industry contributes 30%. Even for the people's health, most of the construction industry related problems, lungs problems, everything is also contributed not 30%, it is a 50% in urban India. So this is something, it is a topic that it is already world started adopting outside. Singapore is the first one to drive, but US and Europe are driving on a complex works there because their models are different. GC contractor can decide which to do on-site, which to do off-site. So there it's coming that carbon emissions, all that, the monitoring in the construction site, all that is coming. So that main contractors are taking the lead in making the constructability point where high skill is there, low skill is there. But I think in India it's not too late because all of us believe job means only software job is the job to the present engineers. So there will be a day that, they will think that our mechanical or other fraternity jobs also are the jobs. Then the people comes this side. Till then we are shortage of manpower. Then we have to drive back how we construct a more energy efficiency, what you are talking. Energy efficiency building, sustainability building, all that. First energy efficiency, we use whatever smart building, all smart buildings can be energy efficient buildings. But all energy efficient buildings are not sustainable buildings. But you look at it, sustainable buildings are all energy efficient, smart, all will come back. So this, I come from the building side to tell you.
Absolutely. I think it's a very great perspective that you have put across. And no better person than you to kind of put this perspective because you are involved in the entire life cycle of a building. So what I really, liked about your conversation there is, it's not just important to do sustainable material, have the best practices of installation. More important things are offline construction. I think 65%, you gave an example of Singapore. That's a good practice to bring into India. And the other element that I picked up really in this conversation is also about training, telling people how to use the systems that you have spent so much money to install, right? Deployed great assets, but then you're not able to kind of really derive benefits out of that. Yeah.
I just tell you, maybe soon when I launch, I built a training school. We are designing a DFMA based complete like a furniture grid, you should be in a position to do. So I know if I tell this, people can't learn. So the mechanical engineer or anybody diploma guy should be in a position to learn. I built a training school as a CSR, no charge for it, but only how a man to be built to educate, to see that he learns what is the right sustainable practice of doing his job. So that's where, a small person like us, we are able to take initiative. I think the team here, the bigger company representatives should be in a position to do that, especially training. You have all problems for non-operating, lot of problems our consultants are expressing. All that is possible only you are the representatives for Skill India, and you skill the people to operate your own system.
That's really passionate. Thank you for enlightening us on that. So maybe during our networking, I think we can actually connect with Vivek sir and then learn more about it. So Shrikesh, I think to you now the question is, it's a brand neutral question. I'm expecting you to do a brand neutral response. So what new technology that is coming, right? Just to excite everybody, excite the world. If you have some thoughts, it need not be a product, it is a solution. Now we are moving from giving products to solutions. So can you think of something really that excites all of us today who were assembled in this hall?
See last 20 years there. So I will start with a negative thought about it. Many of you know I come with a new innovative technology called primary secondary pumping and become a friend of you by promoting that technology. Our problem is not lack of technology, how you execute it. Even today, see, I myself installed say 2000 pumping systems. If you go there today, every specification today is primary secondary. But I can say 70% of it is not working with the intent, as Manju sir rightly pointed out, of primary secondary system. I installed the first primary variable flow, which was a latest technology even today in pumping. I installed it in 2006. After 18 years, still not even 30% of the project is executing with primary variable flow. This is as Vivek sir said, maybe lack of training or the enthusiasm of people or the cost implication. From that perspective, you are asking what is the latest technology which is coming up. As I already said, from a brand neutral perspective, there are a lot of technologies, whether it is wanted or unwanted. Like he mentioned, like we introduce lot of new systems which is actually not wanted if we keep the basics right. So one big change will be this HFO refrigerant in chillers for sure. And we are still using some systems, though India can use say R134A, which as you said 1290 GWP till 2047. I can see there are a lot of changes happening very fast, where refrigerant based, whether it is chillers, whether it is low commercial equipment, that will be a big change in next 2-3 years. Okay. The other latest technology we know, like from the chiller field, like we introduced VFDs many years ago, but still I can see people not using it. Mm-hmm. So often still there are many places where constant speed chillers are used. It can actually save 30 to 40% more energy in a real world scenario. I would advocate all these people, most of them are youngsters, to go and use the existing technologies rather than looking for something new, because as per one ASHRAE article, the technologies were an equipment manufacturer from a perspective. It is actually at the tip. Yep. There is nothing more you can do with an equipment. Yep. So now we have to look at more system specific, how we can drive it.
No, absolutely. I think it's a great perspective, right? I mean, there are technologies available. We've introduced 30-40 years back, and then we've not been able to fully implement them. So that's the point that you're making. And then I think we should make it a point to kind of advocate more of that, and then bring in new technologies. Obviously, there are new technologies. And to your point, what I've also heard is the chiller, or let's say the unitary product that's available today, is probably 100% more efficient than it was 30 years back. So, we are already at the threshold of equipment performance.
We can see it from a ASHRAE efficiency chart itself.
Yeah.
What we, even today, some of them specify 2010, AHRI or ASHRAE 2010. But in 24, that particular efficiency chart what they use, there is a 15-20% improvement in that itself.
Point taken. So we are already at threshold performance. We've got to revisit our technologies that we have deployed in the past, and then we can look at new technologies also getting adopted faster. So to you, Mr. Rahul Verma, now. So what's your take about the users, right? I mean, obviously, for the kind of role that you have, you probably interact with a lot of your end users, customers, and do a survey. So is BMS and IoT really working for them? I mean, are they really looking forward to these solutions, or it's just like, I think a common thread that I picked up was we are imposing certain things, may not be needed. We could do better in other areas and then, achieve a net zero goal. So what's your take? What do you think are...
Yeah, definitely, sir. So at Siemens, it's a culture of Siemens that before implementing any technology, first of all, we see that whether that particular technology was installed at any of these Siemens location worldwide. So then we take that historical data, and based upon that, we take some kind of a baseline or a reference point that whether that can be implemented in the upcoming technology or whatever we are proposing. Let's say, for example, in my recent project that I'm doing right now, so we had taken the lighting management system, BMS, and other IoT related kind of thing. And of course, like Siemens Smart Infrastructure is our one of the sister concerns. So we take their integral help to get those things implemented. So for example, I would like to tell you a live case. We have a technology called Enlighten. So Enlighten is nothing, it's a kind of a very small kind of a 1-inch sensor. But that sensor itself is capable enough to see what is the heat mapping inside a given room. For example, inside a big hall, if there are 4 zones, each zones have workstation for people who are working there. So let's say zone A and zone C has lot many people who are working, but zone B and D, it's least occupied. So it generates a kind of a heat map. And at the same time, it gives input to the BMS to get the CSU or any cooling device which is installed there. That has to run on very optimal basis kind of thing to minimize the energy consumption. So likewise, we have so that sensor not only does the heat mapping kind of thing. At the same time, it senses the temperature, RH particular requirement of that area. Then it also senses the lux level of light. So that one particular sensor does so many jobs, and it generates a lot of data that help us to do the data analytics, and then it gives us a baseline to do some kind of implementation in our new projects that comes up. So of course, whatever challenges that we had faced in past, and because of those historical data and the data analytics report that we have, it gives us a lot of information to take a strategic decision before investment, because Siemens itself is targeting to have all of its facility all across the world carbon neutral by, I believe, by 2030, if I'm not wrong. So that is the initiative that Siemens is going to, has already taken, and things are implementing in that way. So of course, as you rightly mentioned, sir, IoT plays a very important role, because nowadays the whole world runs on data. Data is very important. So unless and until you don't have a good collection of authentic, real-time proven data, you cannot take such a strategic decision, because any of the project, if we talk about, we do a lot of investment. The current project that we are doing, we are spending some around 250 million euros. So just spending 250 million euros, and we are not getting any sustainability point of view or any kind of ROI related to that. So all these analytics we do based upon the pre-research that we do based upon the data.
Absolutely, I totally take your point. So what you're saying is, even before you launch a product or a solution, you've already done your groundwork, you've done your research and surveys. So you know that that product or solution is going to work for that customer. But more from a utility perspective, I think you're saying that maybe customers are liking it, that's why they're buying more and more of that. So that's one response that I look forward, and then I think you're saying positive things about it. The other thing is about data. Data is the next gold. I think everyone looks at data, and IoT implementation becomes extremely important. Just one observation I had on the sensors that you mentioned, right? So on history forums like this, we keep it brand neutral, right? So I'm sure there are other companies also like Siemens, who will have those sensors which are capable of picking up lux levels and maybe heat signatures and number of people and all that. So that's a point to the audience. I think with that, I will move to my namesake, Mr. Manjunath. This is going to be the last question to the panelists. Then we will open it to the audience for your questions. So my question to you, sir, is about energy audits. So do you really think that adds value, or is it just an excuse to do a retrofit? Like it could be a system retrofit, a product retrofit, or a building level retrofit. What's your perspective? What's your experience on that?
Yeah, before that, just I want to add one more thing. You mentioned that preventive maintenance, that whatever the innovation is happening in preventive maintenance. So we are working with, we worked actually with the SLK software. SLK is developed a very good system where it can do complete preventive maintenance of the system, MEP equipment. They introduced this software in only Europe. They're not introduced in India. So what it will do is, any equipment you take it, like human or machine, before it fails, it gives a signal. Suddenly it will never fail, even a human organ or it is a machine part. So what it will do is, it will sense that before it fail completely, it will sense that what is the defect it is happening it, and it will immediately give a signal to the team to go and do this maintenance. For example, I'll give you one example, what input we are given. For the performance of the chiller. So chiller is doing a performance, suddenly some gas leakage is there. So gas, once they start leaking, before it trips and shut down, the performance comes down because of the gas leakage. So it will sense that what is the consistent performance of the chiller, suddenly why the performance keeps on coming down. So immediately it will give a signal that there is this leakage in the refrigerant gas, and it will send it to that technician, and he will arrest before it fail. Like that, for example, the compressors. Compressor also, they have monitoring each compressor run hours. For example, 10 chillers they have, 20 compressors they have. All the compressors run hours they will record, and each compressor they have certain life period. Once that life period is completed, immediately they will not wait for compressor to fail. They will replace the compressor. So this is the way they do complete preventive maintenance, and without any maintenance staff. This is because in labor in Europe is very, very expensive. So many companies are adopting this technology, and they take care of the whole maintenance of the system, and before failing, they will attend the system. And what they telling is non-critical applications, they will even avoid the standby systems. So before it fails only, they'll rectify it and they will make it all right. So this is how they're doing it. Now your questions of energy audit. See, energy audit is very, very important. For how I explained you, we are having a very good system, excellent system, topmost equipment, but if you don't have the proper record, then there is no use. So we have to do the energy audit, and preventive maintenance, we have to do it. And frequently we have to, again, there is another thing is, when you use an IOTA, so all that equipment, sensors, everything, it should be properly calibrated. If you use a sensors which is not having a calibration, then there is no use. So it will give you all wrong records, and your total system is going to collapse. So your energy auditing is a very, very important. And how to do the energy auditing, that is another important thing. So you are retrofitting jobs. You are doing a retrofitting jobs. We are doing it, all that retrofitting with the new technologies, new VFD we replaced, all sensors we replaced, BMS is in place. And how to record it. So you take that energy of old building in peak summer, and you take this all after updating, you take the readings in some winter or monsoon, you will get obviously the very, very good results. It is not the way. They have to do a proper 1 year audit, energy audit, and then compare the system to system. And at the same time, even at what conditions you have taken the readings, that's also makes very important. Because last time, some people have come and shown me the data. They shown the data of 2019 and 2020. And they're showing that after incorporating all the system, you saved so much, 30 to 40% energy. 2020 was all COVID time. It was all work from home. So there was no occupancy only. So this kind of a things has happened. So energy audit, frequent energy audit, and making that records and utilizing that. When you do the energy auditing, you get a data. And what you do with the data? Again, whether you're spending so much of money, it is giving a backup payback period or not. So where you are making a wrong way. So those things, that analysis we have to do by using the energy audit.
Sorry, I have to borrow your mic because now I just posted my last question. Then we'll hand it back to the panelists. To the audience to ask questions to the panelists. But just one point. I think Shikesh and Rahul Verma. I think there's some good news after listening to Manjunath sir. So what really comes out here is that predictive insights or predictive analytics is here to stay, and that's probably evolving more than before. And I think we are going to be really in business because of that, right? Do you agree? Absolutely. Okay, thanks. On that note, I think I'll request audience to start their questions. I'll request you to maybe wait for the mic to be passed around. State your name, and then if you have a specific question to a particular panelist, you can ask the panelist directly. So with that template, we can go ahead. I think Mr. Thomas.
Yeah.
We go.
So I got some questions. Anybody can answer this. See, everybody talked about the good system, all the things, all sensors, IoT based, good chiller, pumps, construction, everything. Anybody look at the budget? Because everybody talked about the big way, but what is the budget you people are talking? Because if you say any of the project, you should have a budget. Do you think that the budget is suiting all your requirement?
Okay.
That's one.
Right.
Second is that.
So we answer this question and go to the
No,
next one?
I'll just give the things anybody can answer. I'll
Okay.
get 5.
No, because I have to roll a dice now. Who's going to pay? So, yeah, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. Second is that commissioning. See, everybody has a good commissioning agent and everything, but none of the people doesn't know how to do the commissioning till now. Because recently I was attending in a ICP commissioning. The people were attending was 5 years, 10 years people, experienced people. The people doesn't know where DP sensor is fixed, how to set the DP. See, that is a lack of commissioning things to be addressed, like that training to be point to be taken out something else. And the quality contractors, as Vivek was talking about, who are looking the quality contractors? Now, Dick and Dairies are contractors. In any road we can see all the people. Who is doing the quality jobs? So that is not been identified properly. The people who is giving 1,000 rupees less, yes, the job is awarded to him. See, earlier days, if you see, when we all the people knows that we work, there wasn't a quality. The technicality was addressed in the technical meeting. Then the awarding was going, rating was given to this contractor 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, where is there is no rating part. There is no technicality. You're giving 50,000 less. Yes, your job is awarded to you.
Sure. So I think we'll give it up a pause because there are too many things for me to remember. So there's some 3 key words that I've picked up, okay? So there's one on budget. The second thing you spoke about is commissioning skill sets. And the third thing is quality integration, system integration, if you can put it that way. So there are 3 specific questions. I think I'll request the audience to kind of pick these 3 key words and then build onto it. I think Vivek, sir.
So basically you have to think about the budget. See, today you have got 2,000 rupees, you will come to this restaurant. You got a 500 rupees, you go to another restaurant. If you look at it that, I was with one of the customer, it is a food division. He asked me why you are quoted more. I said, sir, my cost is more. Why? I said, when I was coming to your factory, there was one trolley fellow was making idli. That will cost some 2 rupees. Then I said, I go to Shanti Sagar, they charges me 20 rupees. I come to your ITC hotel, I pay 200 rupees. Ingredients are fixed. Same rice, same farmer, same farm. And then he's using the same gas. You're not creating a new gas. See, something that based on your affordability and where your choice is there, you go. Today, where the problem is there, everybody dreams big. Today, I have a budget of 10 lakh rupee, I should look at a 10 lakh rupee car with all the features. The tire is there, mileage is there, everything is there, comfort is there. But immediately I look at it, a Rolls Royce with 10 lakh rupee, then you try to, I need to have Rolls Royce logo. Outside body is fine. So this is what is the presently problem in the industry. Otherwise, I don't need an IoT, but still do an energy efficient building. Yeah. Sorry, sir. Sorry, I have 50% of the cases. No, 50% of cases. Customers has a budget. He talked about third point. I am coming back to that. Here, other guys are giving. Why you are? How can I give? See, I have money. Who is asked to give discount? Others are giving discount, so we are giving. So we have a budget. I tell you, 70% of the cases, customers has a budget because, sir, he's eating food decently. He is wearing dress decently. He want to build a building decently. But not that but he is not educated enough, this fellow, how much he can mess up. That is only the problem today. So what I'm telling, budget criteria is a relative term, that what is a budget? No, value for money, you should educate being whoever is in the panel. One is a consultants, advisor, so many are there in the panel. They should say what is the value for the money, right? They should educate the customer if he does not know. Nowadays, customers are educated enough. I used to say, I'm saying, from 1994 to today, a customer officers are more technically having knowledge when compared to many, I can say 50% to 50 or 60% more even engineering services officers, because they are hired so much of skill set to answer from their end to their end customers. So today that is not the problem. Today they are well aware. It's only our mindset. Next, come back to whom to use a contractor. A government has got some pre-qualification. Mr. Nirmal Ram sir asked on the same topic, ran panels all over India, written a book and given. How many of us are following in this room? How many developers are following? Okay, how many read? See, what happens is that, even the worst, we talk about government jobs are baddest jobs available. For that, there is a qualification. Your turnover should be so much, your financial capability so much, your company should have so and so. When I came a carrier dealer, to approve the carrier dealership in my 1994, carrier team came, visited what is the office says, how many engineers are there to sign a dealership. The very same, later I don't want to take. Now today ITA guys are also, whoever has money is the dealers for all the companies. There is nothing that office is there. Even a car shed, the people are operating as dealers. And we used to run a heat load estimate ourselves as a contractor and tell where window AC to be fitted, how it has to be fitted, why at this level to be fitted. We have been educated by training, by the company's principals used to train us. We used to sit in a classroom. Why window AC to be only at 3 feet height? Why that is called window AC? Then the high wall unit, why? Today also I can tell fundamentals. But today Amazon is available. One fellow will come, online order. How he is installing a right location first, whether energy efficiency is there or not. We are talking in this room, the topic is something 100 times beyond the reality. Topic we are talking. The basics are not right here. So what your problem I am telling. So it has to change the way of thinking. It takes time. We all have to take the beatings, then slowly it gets matured. When the whole engineering has come to the online ordering, apart from the food, engineer is ordered also online. Okay.
Yeah, see, one thing what I want to tell you, see, we are talking about sustainability and energy innovative building. When it comes to sustainability, budget will not come into picture. Our social responsibility is to make that all carbon footprint as low as possible. Budget is immaterial because who is installing the air conditioning? All big companies only, correct? No small persons will install that 1,000 ton, 2,000 ton ACs. All are the big corporate companies, big builders are developing, and the social responsibility, first thing is to reduce the carbon footprint. There, the budget is immaterial. So that is the first part. Second part, I'll tell you as a consultant, wherever we give a budget, all the project will go 30% lesser than that only. The client will say that you have given so much of budget, but I have finalized 30% lesser than your budget. So the budget is not a constraint. So mainly thing is that First thing is we have to put it in black and white that we want only this. That is what. Recently we are working on with Srikesh also that one of the client is telling that we want only HFO refrigerant. HFO refrigerant chillers are not available in India. It is double the cost. He is telling that that doesn't matter. No problem. I is ready to spend double the money, but I want GWP less than 2 or 3. So this is how the clients are now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's a false perception, according to me, that a smart building costs huge money than an ordinary building. If you really take the capex difference and do a life cycle analysis, like we were talking about, building will last for 120 years, just take it for 20 years and take the ROI. I don't think nobody will hesitate to spend that kind of money to make it a smart building, because it is a recurring saving, which is much more attractive than doing an ordinary building with age-old technologies. Smart buildings doesn't cost you.
It doesn't really cost a lot of money. Okay, so quickly, from Vivek sir's perspective, I think we clearly got to know that, the 3 key points again: your budget, commissioning, and system integrator skill sets. So Vivek sir has clarified that we have the when the objective is right, we have the tools and tackles. I think Manjunath sir also said that budget. Srikesh also mentioned that budget has never been a constraint. It's the intent and the objective. Also, quickly want to introduce a master of ceremonies. Given the setup here, he's become a bouncer, so he's going to throw us out now. So I've got only. Am I okay saying that? Just one last question. Okay, thanks. And then we have the networking dinner. Any amount of questions are welcome during that period. Okay, because we're just running short of time. It's just 1 minute past 9 o'clock. So just that one last question to you, sir. Okay, sure. Sure, there's one question here. I think, can you pass on the mic there? Can you take this one?
Hey, good evening to everyone. My name is Srihari. It was a very interactive session.
We're not able to hear you clearly, sir. If you can hold the mic closer.
My name is Srihari. It was a very great evening. We learned a lot. So very come to the point. 2 questions, very short questions. See, I'm the ESG and sustainability consultant. So now people are talking about scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 emissions, how we are going to become as a sustainable net zero and all, right? Every organization has putting their targets and all. This question to, especially for Srikesh and Mr. Rahul.
Yeah.
So because you falls under the OEM, right now if you see that in UK and US, all the product manufacturers are giving the EPD values. Environmental product declaration values from sourcing of the raw material till recycling of the product. So any development is happening to give the product declaration values what you are offering in terms of chillers or maybe pumps, whatever the things are there. That is question number 1.
Yeah, so we'll address that question number 1. Just we'll give it a pause, because I think EPD is a very large subject. I think ASHRAE has just come up with a guideline on EPDs. So EPD is basically, so to say, from cradle to grave. What are the emissions, and then we'll have to make a product clarification.
Cradle to grave plus cradle to grave.
Yeah, circular, right? Cradle to grave thing. So, as a product company, have you come up? I think there could be a few listed products where you have EPDs. And Rahul, I think you can also state that, because maybe not directly relevant on EPDs for you because you just have controllers and sensors, but more from an asset which has got a 15, 17, 25 years life cycle, right? So sorry, I will take the next question after this. Yeah.
I'm not talking about.
Okay, so Srikesh, can I request you, sir? You go ahead with the second question.
I'm comfortable. Comfortable.
Sure.
Yes, we can declare as a company. I'm not taking the name of my company, but most of them knows anyway. So we can declare that at least the total carbon, which that product has gone through or contribute, we can declare that and give you a statement.
Yeah, so not for all products maybe. There are certain product categories that are available.
Yeah.
But this products that are sold in Europe, there's a different configuration. I think there's a PET,
right.
So that's there. Rahul, do you have any EPD related updates that you can tell us? Okay, so EPD
understood.
is a new subject. I think thank you for bringing it up. It's a great
okay.
question. Yeah.
Okay.
So your next question, sir.
Last question is, people are talking about retrofit and all. Why nobody has not touched about the circular economy right now? One is circular economy is a part of the sustainability goal. So everybody is coming to replace the product or come the retrofit. Why you as a panel or subject matter experts, why you have not talked about the circular economy? So any
Circular economy, just to be more clear on the question, is it about product being reused or product being repurposed? Yeah.
Circular economy is basically to extend of the product life instead of
Yep.
scrapping the any kind of product. I want to extend the life to bring more value because see, once the product is wasted, how you are going to segregate the waste and all. Again, the waste is also part of your sustainability goal, right?
Yeah.
So that is the reason people are implementing to extend the life
Absolutely,
of the
I
product.
think it's a great question. So I would like to, maybe before I hand it back
The
to
problem
Shrikesh.
is now if you see that the construction waste is minimized because of people are going for a PEB structures and prefabricate, lot of things are happening because of
Right.
to reduce the construction waste. And also people now, if you see that I am from the data center background last 21 years, now people are going for a complete air-cooled chiller because of WE is a driving factor in terms of sustainability. I know because I traveled nearly 21 countries, I have seen that last 1 decade, the sustainability is growing. Still in India is, I think people are talking. I used to attend a lot of sessions. So everybody is talking the sustainability, but real ground is not implementing.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's what I want to bring.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very good point that you're bringing about
so
there. So, repurposing or reusing. Let's take for example a HVAC asset. Actually, doesn't make a lot of sense in the context that we also earlier discussed. That the technology is shifting very fast. Every 5 years in this industry, we're talking about new technologies, and it's becoming more and more efficient. Like if a product is becoming 15% more efficient, and there's an ROI of 2 years. So then I think that doesn't actually make sense to continue with the old product, which is less efficient. That's point number one. The second thing is the assets that we build. Let's say, for example, a chiller has 4 key components, which could be copper, steel, aluminum, and any other metal. And most of them can be recycled multiple times, right? So about disposing of gas, let's say, for example, R134A. Yep. Yeah. Fugitive emissions, right? Correct. So if you have to take the gas out, so what we normally recommend is take that to an incinerator and burn it off, like convert that into end of life, right? So I think there are methods, and to your earlier question, I think these two are related, like EPD and circular economy. I think we are pretty much there. Unless Shrikesh, you want to add more on this? Yep.
I was telling the same thing, like instead of recycling the product or extending the life, there is much better efficient equipment is available.
Absolutely.
So the,
Replace the system. So what he meant was chiller, cooling tower, pumps, and everything put together, and maybe add BMS or slap a VFD on top of it. So and EC. Everything goes for recycle because
In HVAC, most of the equipment, chiller, take it, pump you take it, cooling tower you take it, everything will go for recycle. So it is no point after 15 years, you just replace it some and make it all right. That replace that new thing and buy a new energy efficient system which will give you more energy benefit, and at the same time you recycle the whole thing. You are not wasting anything. The complete component is recyclable.
So with that, I think we will close the panel discussion. I think evening is young. You can still ask questions. Yeah, right. Thank you. Thanks for that. And want to kind of thank the panelists for for sharing such wonderful knowledge. I think it's been a wealth of experience that you have, and then a lot of learning there. Thank you for that. And thank you, audience, for being such a great audience. Request a round of applause for the panelists and for yourself. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So,
I
MC
request
to bouncer.
panelists to be seated there for a few more minutes. May I request Subbu, sir, to hand over the memento to Mr. Rahul Verma. May I request Mr. Deepak, past ISHRE president, to hand over the memento to Manjunath Swami, sir. Thomas, sir. Mr. Thomas, president-elect. May I request Mr. Muniraju, President ISRE Chapter Bangalore, to hand over the memento to Vivekananda sir. Sir, I request you to hand over the memento to Srikish as well. May I request Mr. Shilpan Shah to hand over the memento to our moderator today, Mr. Manjunath MD by birth. Thank you.
No, I think it was an excellent, thank you once again on behalf of Shilpakruti to all the panelists. And one thing which I just wanted to convey it to Subbu, who has been a chair of technical committee at ISRE headquarters for a long time. Two very prominent points which emerged out from a discussion today, which ISRE can take it further. That is basically, one was the skill, which Vivekanand brought it so prominently. I think this is something in which ISRE can take a national leadership, for our industry. I am not saying for just like Modi ji says everywhere, skill development, skill development, skill development. But if you recollect, way back in year 2008, Modi ji, as a Gujarat Chief Minister, used to push us. Give me a document, how much money you want, you make a skill set. Make it in English, then make it in Gujarati. I want all my Gujarat mechanic to come up in life. I think this is some initiative which ISRE need to take it very strongly and make it happen. And same thing is in terms of sustainability as an educational subject in ISRE is still being only talked about but not being carried further. So look at those 2 points seriously at HQ level. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words. As we all know, the biggest event, HVAC event, ACREX is happening in Bangalore in 2025 February. We have Mr. Subbu with us to talk about ACREX 2025. It's a small presentation.
You have the presentation? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I will not take more time, just few minutes. ACREX 2025 is happening in Bangalore. It's coming after 6 years. The last event which happened was in 2018. And then please block your calendar from on 20th to 22nd February. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And kindly pass this information to all your friends, customers, end users, owners, developers, architects, everyone to come. And what do we do there? Whatever subject we talked about here, energy efficiency, innovation, smart solution, products, your answers, questions to all manufacturers, OEMs, all of them are going to be there, more than 400, 500 of them exhibiting their product and systems. And all these questions you can ask, how energy efficient is your system? What can you do to environment? How it is more sustainable? How can I improve my system and everything? And what do we do in ACREX? There is an innovation zone, product showcase. There is a B2B meeting, lot of product launch, demo areas, startup pavilion, investor forum, CEO roundtable, industry stakeholders, lot of knowledge session is happening. In fact, to Pankaj Shah's thing, ISRE now today, this year, have identified Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai as centers of excellence, which we have been doing it, and then lots of programs are happening on that. And we have taken 2 halls in BIEC, Bangalore International Exhibition Center, and where metro is also going to get extended from Nagasandra to BIEC, 2 stations beyond that. So we can have a sustainable journey to from any part of Bangalore to BIEC. 2 halls are there, hall 4 and 5, where you will have product, every exhibitor products filled with that is going to be there. We have already booked, we have got a fantastic response from the industry. More than 20 partners and 240 plus exhibitors are on board. More than 100 more are going to come in, and we have crossed 11,000 plus square meters. And Pankaj Shah has been, Pankaj Shah, Nirmal Ram, Madhav Rao. Madhav Rao's brainchild is ACREX, and we have all the stalwarts from Bangalore, Mr. Bhagawan, Pankaj Shah, and all who have been driving this in the past. I think with all their blessings, it has crossed beyond 11,000 square meters. We want everyone to pass this message also to all your friends to come and block space further. And we have all these lots of parallel concurrent sessions are happening. One important thing which is happening is ACREX Hall of Fame, which is happening to identify iconic buildings from our industry. There are already 9 inductees to the building. We started this in 2019, and then we have already 9 buildings, and then building commercial office space, mixed use buildings, malls and all, they can register, they can nominate, and then we have a jury member, and the jury chair is going to be Dr. Rangarajan from IISc, and we have 4 great jury members of this committee, Ms. Mili Majumdar, architect Leena Kumar, and then we have one Mr. Jatin Shah, and we also have Mr. Saravanan Raj, all of them from the industry and from Danfoss and ISRE Society President. So we are recognizing iconic buildings. Kindly pass this information to all your friends to nominate buildings, and Bangalore chapter can help you to nominate this. Muniraju and Thomas and all of us can help you to do this process. And we thank all the partners who are supporting this event, who are there, and we have lots of supporting associations, societies. So there are going to be lots of people coming from outside for this. So thank you so much. Please block your date 20 to 22nd February, and please don't miss ACREX, and kindly pass this information to every one of you whom you meet. Thank you.
Thank you, Subbu sir. We are definitely looking for the event. Now may I call upon stage Mr. Muniraju sir, President, ISRE Bangalore chapter, and Bhaskar sir to hand over the memento to our President. Thank you, Bhaskar sir. Thank you, Muniraju sir. The event was well organized by the ISRE event committee, and ISRE event committee chair Mr. Ashok is not here, so I request Shashi to come on the stage to take the award on his behalf, and I request Mukund to hand over the memento to him. Okay, I think he's not present today. Before we conclude this event by vote of thanks by Thomas sir, just wanted to inform that food is served in the first floor, and the liquor is on the house served in this ground floor and then the first floor. You need to carry this band. or else you'll have to pay and ring.
Hello. Very good evening to all. A wonderful session by the Shilpa Kruti and team, and great applause to them once again. I would like to thank you, Shilpa Kruti, giving us a wonderful things to history once again. I look forward the third year to come with us to close the hands for the next year. And I would thank you all the speakers and the panelists, those who come over here, and they've given a great messages to the industry. Thank you once again. And I would like to thank you to all the delegates, those who attended today, and come here and praise this occasion. Thank you.